Fujiki-san, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Sir, I've read your manifestation to the United Nations. I'll read exactly the quote of the statement that you've sent to the UN. You said, "You are calling upon the government of the Philippines to immediately release senators currently detained on politically motivated charges,
Right.
including those associated with the Blue Ribbon Committee, and cease attempts to alter the Senate's political composition through the criminal justice system." What led you make this appeal to the UN?
Actually, the people who are trying to say the truth is always detained or arrested by the current regime. So this is injustice, and also I cannot accept this political manipulation to suppress the people. So that's the reason I wrote this.
And you've mentioned the Philippine Senate. What reports have come to you?
Like Senator Marcolita, and also
You've met the man, right?
yeah,
Earlier this year.
yeah, he's a very nice man and also very patriotic. So we talked to each other very well, and he was really a good person. But unfortunately, after a while, he was arrested. So because he was trying to unveil the corruptions in the Blue Ribbon Committee, that's why he was silenced by the current regime. That I thought. Yeah.
And that for you is political maneuvering.
It's a political maneuvering prosecution. Yes.
You also said to the UN, and I quote, "You're calling the government of the Philippines to immediately end suppression of free expression, including the arrest of silencing citizens who exercise their rights under Article 9. This is important.
Yeah.
Article 19 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights,
Yeah.
or the protection of the freedom of expression and opinion."
Right.
What prompted you to make this call to the UN?
Actually, I have been hearing that on the people in the Philippines, within the Philippines, not only FWs, but the Philippines, people in the Philippines, they are suppressed by the government and they're threatened by the government. That's in case if you are saying something against the current regime, then they will be charged, arrested, or punished. So this is against the ICCPR and rules, and also, obviously it's against the Philippine Constitution.
So
Right.
you think that there's a suppression of the freedom of expression in the Philippines, as you've heard and if you've seen and you've talked to the Filipino community here in Japan. Is that what they're telling you, sir?
Yeah. Basically, the constitution itself is to bind or tie up the power of the government. Okay, so even the Philippine constitution says that freedom of expression, gatherings, and also speech is guaranteed, right? So this is how I came across with this. I was searching on ICCPR and also other international law. So many, it's violating so many laws and rules. Yeah.
You also called on to the United Nations, and I quote, "You're calling upon the ICC to recognize that the case of former President Duterte has become inextricably entangled."
Yeah.
This is important. "In domestic political conflict, in violation of the Rome Statute, and order his immediate release."
Right.
You've mentioned his case as a domestic political conflict.
Exactly. Yes.
Why do you say so, sir?
Well, because you have active judicial system in Philippines. So in case if there is if any victims is existing, then first hand victim have to claim to the regional court, and this is a judicial system, and also that is working. If it's not working, yes, according to the Rome Statute, ICC can intervene. But as long as the judicial system in Philippines is still working, fully functioning, then this is against the Rome Statute. So
You're aware of the political bickering of the Marcos and Duterte family?
Yeah, of
They
course.
were once united under the Uniteam banner.
Right, that is totally...
And then when things went south,
yeah,
these are the results.
right, exactly. So they should not use President Marcos should not use this international judicial system to eliminate the enemy. So, it's okay. The difference of the opinion is always healthy. But in case if you use the force to eliminate their voice, it's wrong.
And then for you, it's a human rights violation.
It is. Definitely it is.
And an international human rights violation.
Yeah, exactly.
International human rights.
International human rights, yes. Yeah.
because the former president was sent abroad without formal
It's a due process.
due process.
Right. Also, actually, this is what I can say. It's kidnapping the person without any chance to speak with a lawyer or attorney, right? Just to kidnap and put in the airplane. So this is against the process, a due process.
He also said, and I quote, calling upon the International Criminal Court to issue a formal apology
Right.
to the Filipino people
Yeah.
and for President Duterte and provide appropriate reparations in a form of meaningful
Right.
and acceptable to the Filipino people. Why does this concern you, sir?
Yeah, because this is totally wrong. Then what the ICC did and made judgment is totally wrong and against the Rome Statute. So once if they make a mistake, then they have to straight up, right? And then many Filipino people are very much concerning, not only the people in the Philippines, but in the overseas. There are also the approval rate of the President Duterte is still very high in the country. Means people are accepted. He was legally elected. He's not the dictator. Okay, so we have to listen to the voice of the general public, the Filipino people.
And the Filipinos here in Japan are raising this concern to you personally.
Yes, because the people in the Philippines is silenced. And most of even the Facebook page of the DDS is closed, forced to close, right? So only voice that we can make is from the outside of the Philippines. No, differently, if I go to a Philippines, then I will be arrested, maybe, and maybe missing people, a person. But anyway, so people, the Filipino people are really concerning about the health condition of the former President Duterte. And I also listen to so many voices. The OFWs are scared to go back to home country. This is something really bad. So I really want to, while the President Duterte was in power, people are very proud of their country, Miss Philippines. Okay, but now they say so many corruptions are going on, and so many political persecutions are going on, so many arrests are going on, so many intimidation are going on. So these are totally wrong. So I want to be a part of the voice of the Filipino people.
Do you see that a silent martial law is ongoing in the Philippines?
Yeah.
So note, sir, the current president now is the son of the former dictator, the late Ferdinand Marcos.
Yes, I'm aware of it. Yes. Because of the people's power, he was freed from country.
He was ousted.
Right? Yeah.
And their
right.
family too.
Yeah.
But now they're back in power.
The problem is the former president, Ferdinand Marcos Sr., he was totally supported by the United States. And now the same thing is going on the Marcos administration. Of course, to have a good relationship with the United States is good, but exploiting the situation is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much U.S. embrace is bad.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And I quote, again,
Yeah.
you've said in your statement, that's why I'm using my laptop to read exactly your words.
Okay.
You said, an institution that cannot discipline itself has no business judging others. You're referring this to the ICC.
Yes.
What is the rationale behind this statement?
Yeah, because some of the prosecutor were charged or dismissed from their ICC because of the sexual misconduct to his office workers. And, this is the person who filed the arrest warrant to Mr. Duterte.
Who sought for his arrest?
Right, exactly, yeah.
So
This is not an institution. But, so many Filipino people are now asking me to ask the Japanese government to stop funding to the ICC. Okay, or President Trump is now
rallying.
Rallying
to dismantle the ICC.
Yeah, right. So actually, this is one of my perspective. This is something wrong because dismantling the ICC. So, in case what will happen if the China do something against the Philippines or killing some people on the South China Sea or so, then where do you go? Are you going to claim or file the complaint? Right? There is no place. So we have to have ICC, but reform this because the current ICC is useless. So we have to reform. Because Japan is number one contributor for the ICC. So Japanese government have to demand the ICC to reform or change all the people working there to make it straight. That's what I think.
And I've read in your Facebook account that you're raising concerns that the Marcos government, and I quote, could pressure the UN over your statements.
Right.
What is the basis of your concern? Sorry.
Yeah, because they did it before. The last time when I submitted the statement, then immediately your government reacted to the United Nations, right? So, and trying to silence me or eliminate this statement, but it doesn't work because maybe the president is thinking that the way of the domestic, issue will be work for foreigners, even to the foreigner like me, right? But it doesn't work because it's a human rights issue. I'm not going to involve to the internal politics or internal affair with Philippines because only I'm involving because of the human rights violation. Yeah, it's human rights issue.
Do you think that how important is this issue, the voices of the Filipino community, the overseas Filipinos, the OFWs here in Japan, that they're very, very concerned
Right.
about these issues that you're raising in the United Nations? How important is their participation in the process and your steps that you're going to take in the United Nations?
Well, actually, most of the Filipino people in Japan were desperate the situation. Okay, so I thought it have to be internationalized, the issue, because this is it was a domestic issue. So they are mostly giving up. So I said there must be some way to find out to get the international attention on this issue. And then I decided to submit a statement, and also I had a chance to speak exactly 1 year later that Mr. Duterte was detained, the March 11th, right? So we have to raise more voice, and now people are encouraged by me, and also people are encouraging me too, right? So we are doing a very good harmony, and also people in Europe are trying very hard, and also Japanese people in Japan are trying very hard, although they are risking actually, right? And some of the people in Europe, when they're going back to the Philippines, they were denied entry. So many things are going on
Because of the issue.
because of the issue, because of their it's a dissent of the current administration.
Nice. Yes.
So this is another human rights violation, although it's not visible from the surface, but still there are so many things going on. Even there is some German nationals who is their spouse of the Filipino woman. He was also denied entering to the Philippines. So this is totally wrong, and it's a big human rights violation we have to correct.
You've announced something in your Facebook that big things are coming this September at the UN.
Yeah. We cannot.
You've mentioned it.
Yeah.
You've mentioned the Filipino people is with you.
Yeah.
What are we expecting this coming September?
Well, actually,
Big things are coming.
Yeah, big things are coming, but I cannot discourse because so many opposition are doing something against us. But anyway, this is unprecedented things that even I'm not experienced, but I discussed with the people in Europe as well as the Japan, the Filipino people. And then I give them what we can do in Geneva, because it's a kind of core portion of the Europe, right? And we have a Geneva Press Center. We have so many international conference centers and so many things we can do. So we are concentrating to the certain days, maybe a week time, to have strong rallies and protests and so on.
Fujiki-san, what is your ultimate goal in raising this human rights issue in the Philippines, the corruption?
I love Filipino, okay, first of all.
You love
That's
the
why Filipino people, and also Philippines wants a very rich country, okay, richer than Japan. But because of the corruptions and many other things, now it's getting really, the bad country. So I just want to rebuild. If I can do I can help some aspect, right? So, and also people are helping me a lot here, even today. See, I got a birthday party. This is the first time that I experienced with those people celebrating my birthday. So, I was so well happy.
Ultimately, with a nice conversation, what is your final message to the Filipino people?
Okay.
In Japan, and all over the globe will be watching this interview of us in Japan.
Okay.
Your message to them, sir.
All right. So I'm getting every day getting numerous messages from the people in Philippines as well as the overseas workers, Filipino, and they say they are willing to put their life on the line to get President Duterte back. So I said, don't take any risk, because there must be some way. Also, God is watching. And God is helping us, so we have to be very strong, and solidarity is very important. Also, we have to focus on the 2028 election, right? So, of course, there are so many concerns about lifting of the election, but we still need to maintain, and we need the powers of those people not to be arrested, right? So. Please keep the hope in your mind, and the solidarity is the most important. So stick together strongly. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Is it okay?